NFL quarterbacks. Holy crap. What's happening? Tom Brady's coming back. Aaron Rodgers back to the pack. And obviously they didn't tell him the thing that they're getting rid of Devontae Adams. Deshaun Watson. I mean, Carson Wentz is going to not the Redskins, the Commanders, worst name ever. Quarterbacks are just happening right now. And not only are they happening, they're happening at a crazy amount of money, which, I mean, we kind of all understand that's going to happen. But Slaw, where do we even start? Do we start at the I'm not retired anymore guy?
Yeah, it's an easy spot. Huge shocker. Tom Brady couldn't stay away. Weird how that works. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it was just a PR stunt for him in the beginning, because everybody knew he was coming back. He was still at the top of his game. So, I mean, shit.
It's hard to say.
Awesome.
Oh, I think it's awesome. It's hard to say if he was like, all right, I'm going to retire and I'm going to really try it. And if I like it, then I'll just stay retired. Or it's like, oh man, being retired, if your head's not out of it, it's probably not the best space to go into. If like you really want to play, which we knew he wasn't done, but if you really want to play, oh my goodness, like it would be difficult to move on. If I'm so thankful that I had no interest in playing once I was done.
Yeah, it was interesting to me. I think that he didn't even really give it a fair shot in retirement.
No, he didn't. You're right.
Which I'm not hating on him for.
I mean, I think he loves his kids, but
I actually think it's a real solid move he did to Tampa's organization.
Yeah,
because Tampa didn't have to have a contingency plan. They didn't have to scramble and make serious moves in free agency addressing the quarterback spot.
I forgot Russell Wilson too, but go ahead.
Yeah. So they didn't have to get all nuts there. So that was, he pulled a big time, like, here you go, Tampa, I'm saving you here. I think it would have been better for him to actually give retirement a real shot, where if he came out of retirement to play again, then that happened in July or August, because he doesn't need that kind of prep of going through the spring.
I think that's what he loves, though.
Yeah, he probably does. He's a psychopath.
He is a psych. Well, and not through the grind, but I think he enjoys the process of a team being built. That's what I meant more so. But crazy, and I think as a fan, you that's amazing. We're having, because he's still at his prime. We have a lot of young guys getting into their prime that are unbelievable, and then you still have the Aaron Rodgers, you still have Tom, you still have all these other guys. I mean, we're not even talking about, not saying he's unreal, but we're not even talking about Matt Ryan, who might be getting traded by the Falcons. There's so many things going on. I think it just adds to the craziness of quarterbacks changing destinations and whatnot. I'm actually so happy. Just too, because the Bucs didn't have anyone towards the end of the year. All their players were hurt. And like their skill players, like Chris Godwin, amazing. He was out. Mike Evans was not healthy. They had no one, they didn't have Antonio Brown. Now that wasn't because of, I mean, I guess it could be because of injury. I don't know, but because of the most famous exit of any player ever, the dancing in the end zone in MetLife Stadium. Yeah,
hopefully he danced his way straight into a psych ward.
Oh,
man. No,
I heard he wants to play for the Browns. I'm not joking. That's actually a thing.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he wants to play anywhere.
I saw on Instagram that was a thought.
Yeah, he does a lot of things on Instagram. He needs to stop that. But No, the Tampa situation is interesting because that division right now doesn't have like a team outside of Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And when Tom retired, then Tampa just became like all the rest of them. They were going to be fighting for the only playoff spot coming out of that division because they were not going to be good. And now, pretty much overnight, Tampa goes back to a Super Bowl contender again.
Isn't that crazy?
And it's all just riding on the quarterback.
You're going to be 4-12 this year. Wait a second. Tom's back. There's a good chance you're in the Super Bowl. You're in the playoffs, but there's a good chance you're going to make the NFC Championship or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy when you look at the percentages. Oh, my gosh.
What's your thinking?
I did the math on it one year because, I never played in a Super Bowl, but played in a lot of playoff games. And just throughout my career, the percentage of making it to playoffs versus Tom's career of percent of making it to the Super Bowl were I mean,
pretty on par.
He had a higher Super Bowl appearance percentage than I had a playoff appearance percentage.
Oh my goodness.
In his career. So that's unreal.
That's legit. That is legit. Oh my gosh. That's absolutely nuts. What did you think about the craziness of the Texans, Deshaun Watson to the Browns? Bro, first, yeah, go ahead. I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. At first thought when I saw it, I'm like, okay, Deshaun is obviously facing some serious legal issues.
Hey, before you go into the legal issues, Calvin Ridley of the Atlanta Falcons bet on his own team to win a game, which I agree. You should not gamble on the NFL if you're a player. Like, there's
a much bigger deal if he bet on his team to lose.
Yes, and he wasn't playing anyways. He was on he was watching the game, and he bet on his team, and he got a year suspension. Go ahead, just to go ahead.
Yeah, to put it in perspective,
like he didn't like do anything to anyone. So go ahead. Not that Deshaun did. I'm not framing that, but go ahead.
So he's facing some serious legal issues. And so my first reaction was, okay, this is a good move for the Browns because they aren't out anything if Deshaun is convicted. Because then
contract,
obviously conduct detrimental, meaning it would just void the deal. But then it's like, but the ripple effect that happens from this is now you piss off your own franchise quarterback. So now he's fucking gone. And you're trying to get Deshaun Watson as your franchise quarterback. Fine, whatever. But if he gets convicted, then you have no quarterback at all. And your year's gone. It's done. Trash. So it's a really ridiculous move.
Someone made a comment online. Bet on your own team to win, 1 year suspension. Have 22 civil suits against you or whatever.
Yeah,
250 or
$250 million.
I mean, it's kind of crazy and twisted if you think about it. And I'm not saying
from your boy Rich Ornberger.
Was it? Oh, it was. But the thing is, I'm not saying he did everything. There's some very interesting things that don't add up with that whole situation. Like having 20. I'm not putting anything on him, but there is some interesting things like having 22 massage therapists in the same, that's interesting because it just is. But it makes things, it doesn't make the NFL look great.
Well, think about this for a second.
With how they suspend. Go ahead.
Think about this. The NFL is a real powerful enterprise. They can find things out. They can make moves happen. For example, they got the John Gruden thing settled up in a matter of days. There was some rumors.
And there's nothing about the Commanders.
Hearsay, and the NFL says, full stop, we're doing the investigation. Boom, matter of days, done, gone, finished. How long has this Deshaun Watson deal been going on?
It would have if And I think the Browns had to have got some confirmation that it's like, he's going to play. Nothing's going to happen. Otherwise, they wouldn't do the guarantee. And I heard there was, in case something happens, there's some protection for him, which makes no sense. I could be I could be totally off. But I felt like there's some sort of language in it. Did you see anything about that, Scotty? So I could be.
That would be unreal.
That could be some of Slauson's research right there.
Yeah, I mean,
which is the best. But
that would be the most ridiculous contract language ever. A guy facing 22.
Yes, now not like to where if he's guilty of stuff like that sort of thing, but like if there's some hiccups or something. And I could just be spewing a bunch of rando, which would kind of be a little bit like you're an idiot type stuff.
But the assumption is that the team would put the language in there and saying if convicted, then it voids the entire contract, just like every contract in the NFL. It falls under conduct detrimental and boom, done. So if his agent
get fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah, if his agent got it written in that if guilty of anything, he still gets money.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
You want to talk about setting a dangerous precedent.
Guilty.
Yeah.
But maybe if just like some stuff drug on. I didn't mean like if he's guilty, he's guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but now it doesn't matter. It's just civil stuff. So it's just he has to pay money.
Yeah.
Because that's what civil suits are, correct, Scotty? I mean, it's just Scott.
No, man, you're crushing me on a Monday. Like, I don't know what it.
Hey.
I don't. A civil suit is out of court, right? Like, and then you settle up.
It's just money. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just money.
Hey, Slauson, since you went to law school, would you kind of give us a breakdown?
Yeah. So yeah, there was no. I watch a lot of Law and Order, so we're all set here.
Thank goodness.
I hear you, man. Da-dum.
Yeah, so apparently the state isn't bringing any charges to him.
So it's money.
So it's all personal suits now, trying to come after money. And if these things didn't happen, then that really sucks for him. I feel bad.
It does.
Bad for him, because these are just people then that are just trying to get something out of him, and it's bullshit.
Make sure you don't have 22 different massage therapists. Make sure it's just like, someone you trust. I'm saying if you're doing it just like, if he's not guilty, like just have one that you trust, and obviously you're not doing anything and you're not doing anything wrong with.
Yeah. Or guys, instead of just hiring all these massage therapists, just get married and have your wife give you a back rub.
Yeah. Or jump into a 2x4 in your shed. Isn't that what you used to do, or you've done? Like,
to put a rib back into place.
Yeah, put in a rib back into place by jumping into.
Hey, you don't have to do
jumping into wood.
Get yourself a Theragun. Get yourself a roller stick.
Buy yourself some land. Get a shop.
Heavy squats.
You
don't need massage therapists.
Oh, you have a broken neck and back? Jump into the wall. Said no one ever.
No, that's for a displaced rib.
What? Okay.
Or a dislocated shoulder.
So if you have a dislocated shoulder or a rib out, or something that hurts really bad to where you can't breathe very well, jump into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most clown stuff I've ever heard in my entire life.
Tell you what, I'm avoiding 22 civil lawsuits though.
Boom.
Although I'm not getting a $250 million deal out of it. So
do you think, no offense, say this is no offense, right? But say you did have 22. I don't know if you're the target that they're going after.
Yeah, because they know I don't got a $250 million
10-year NFL lineman. Let's go after him. That's believable. I don't know about that. Hey, Aaron Rodgers obviously signed back with the Packers. Huge deal. But his favorite target, best friend Devontae Adams, not there anymore.
He gone.
What the Packers did was Aaron couldn't have known this. Otherwise, I don't think he signs there.
No. And
No
after
chance. And
after this season,
I'd
guess what?
retire
He's
now.
out of there.
Yeah, I'd retire right now if I
Oh
was
my
him.
gosh.
I'd just be retired. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to work at Jeopardy.
I personally thought the deal he took was stupid. I love Aaron.
Explain.
I love Aaron. I love him to death. I think he's awesome. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. And I think he has been for the last couple of years.
I don't think I disagree.
But this contract he just took, because he has a lot of complaints about the Packers organization, but his main one is just what they do, their philosophy of building through the draft, and they do it defensive heavy because they're just leaning on Aaron to just be absolute stud. So he's frustrated that he doesn't have the pieces around him to constantly be in the Super Bowl deal. Well, then you take a deal that completely handcuffs the team from.
I think they would have found a way to pay Devontae, though. They should have had to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he keeps taking these deals to where they can't go get premier. Now, they may not anyway, but they have no ability to. And I get it. You got to go after your money when you can. But Aaron's already done that. He's already gone after his money and gotten his money. So at what point does he go, now I need to do a protect the guys deal so we can make a serious run at this?
See, I wouldn't have even thought about that. I would have just said, I'm deucing out. I'm gone. I don't want to be here because you guys don't do things correctly. That's what I just wonder if they're going to take a quarterback with that draft pick they got. Like they have I think they have 2 first rounders now. They just got a 22. Why not get another quarterback? I mean, I personally wouldn't put any weapons around him. I'd get another quarterback. So then Jordan Love and this new quarterback can duke it out for backup, because that's what you need.
Well,
that's what the Packers, that's what they should do. Right.
Well, now they've put themselves in a situation where they know Aaron's gone the first opportunity he's got now.
Who's running their organization? Like just and nothing against it, some random, I don't know, owner of a lot of land that has just a lot. Well, they're publicly, they're not even owned by anyone. So who's running this? Is it someone that has a PlayStation 5 control in their hand? Like I'm getting like, it's like, I'll tank because I can just quit the franchise here after this season. Great thing about video games.
I don't know, man. I don't know if Dallin.
It doesn't make
Dallin
sense.
Yo is running this or what.
Dallin,
Dallin
would be
running
much better. You put Dallin at whatever position they have, GM, president, whatever. Dallin would be running that show better.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams would still be there. And so would A-Rod, and he would treat A-Rod well.
Yeah, and he would get A-Rod another receiver.
Well, this is the thing, Slaw. They would have been fine. Why didn't they trade Jordan Love?
Yeah, I don't get it. You have the best quarterback and the best receiver
in the game.
League.
And the thing is, A-Rod's not done. He just wants to be treated well. He could play another 5 years easy.
Yeah.
It's just, if you treat him well, it's going to be much less than 5 years. Right? Did I say if you treat him well? If you don't treat him well. Mm-hmm. Like this is now. Let me say this:
first opportunities, he's out of there. So now they put themselves in a position where they have to go draft a quarterback.
Exactly. The Raiders got better. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Adams. They signed Chandler Jones. They re-signed Max Crosby to an extension. I mean, they're going to be fine.
Yeah. I don't know who that center is. Wasn't JC Treader, was it?
For where? For the Raiders?
No, I don't know. There was somewhere that signed a center for like 20 million a year. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I understand quarterback money, receiver
Cincinnati,
money.
I believe they picked up 3 linemen.
Okay.
Yes, Cincinnati got better.
Yeah.
Well, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we still got a quarterback on a rookie contract. Let's go for broke.
Yeah.
Let's do what Seattle Seahawks did those couple
But
years.
I'm looking at this money for a center. And typically, I mean, look, I played center. I got signed to San Diego as a center. Centers are the lowest paid position on the O-line. And when a center is signing for 20 mil.
I don't think he signed for 20 mil, did he?
Yeah, it was like a 4-year, $80 million deal.
I didn't think that was him. I thought that was it was Ted. It was the cat from New England, I think.
Well,
I'm not sure how much it was, but
I just saw a center sign for a 4-year, $80 million deal and was like,
really,
what?
Yeah,
that's happening?
That's excessive.
So not to change the tone a little bit here, but I found it hilarious last year in all the COVID stuff with the NFL, and the NFL was going in full panic mode and had to go to the players union and say, hey, can we have a loan? Because there's no fans in the stands, we're not making any money. So they had to borrow money from the players. And when my buddy told me this, that the PA had a meeting saying this is how they were going to do it, they were essentially loaning the NFL money. I'm like,
there's no chance I would have loaned money.
I'm like, bro, like I know as like a single person, a single player of the union, like you can't stop a majority vote. But I said, just think about something here.
PA getting kickbacks for doing that?
I bet they are.
I guarantee they are.
But I said, let me tell you something. The NFL ain't losing any money here.
No.
In fact, they're making more money through this COVID because you know what? They have less overhead because they aren't putting fans in the stands. Fans in the stands equate to so little of the revenue for the NFL.
Yeah, people don't get that.
The TV deals are so stupid that, I mean, games never have to be played, and the NFL is making billions of dollars. And
that's why I can't stand it when people are like
loaning money.
And people are like they get mad when players hold out or whatever. It's like, no. I'm okay. I'm actually more than okay with holding out. If that's what your business is, I can't, like, you never talk about contracts, that you do your thing. And everyone's like, the team's trying to give him money. It's like, okay, the owners make so much money. They don't spend all the money that they have. They put in a rule so that they have to at least spend some of their money. That was part of our last, the whole deal is like, when we were locked out, is like they had to spend a certain amount of their money or their cap. They don't spend all their money. They just they just suck it up and keep making billies with a B.
Yeah. So I mean, and now we're seeing it. I mean, I told this guy, I said, watch the salary cap. It ain't gonna go down. It's gonna go up. So the NFL was essentially going to the PA and not making threats, but pretty much saying, we can't give new contracts if you don't loan us the money because we have no revenue coming in from the games being shut down, to try to create this sob story for the players to help
lie
grow the NFL. I said, watch these salary caps happen. Not only are they going to jump by millions, but it's going to be tens of millions per year that the salary cap is going to jump by. And right now you're seeing it in action. The amount of money that is being spent in free agency
is silly
money. Receivers signing hundreds of millions of dollar deals. That's supposed to be reserved for quarterbacks
only.
Yeah. The quarterback equates for 15 to 25% of the salary cap, which is, I think, stupid, but that's how it works. And now you got receivers signing quarterback level deals. And now you see offensive lineman deals that are 60, 70, deals. $80 million deals.
It's a publicity stunt, bro. Like, that's what it is.
Did the salary cap just jump to $500 million then? Just went from 200 mil to 500 mil overnight?
Bro, it's crazy. It
Good job,
makes
players.
no sense. And now what are the Browns doing with Baker Mayfield? I don't care what you think of Baker Mayfield. You can hate him, but and even the Falcons, more so the Falcons now, but before when the Browns were talking about signing or getting Deshaun, and then they're like, oh, he's chose someone else, so we're going with you. It's like, you already ruined that relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like, same with the Falcons. If I'm Matt Ryan, I'm gone. I'm trying to do everything I can to get to Indy.
Yeah.
So same with Baker.
Well,
I'm just trying to get out of there.
So Ian Rappaport just had his deal saying that in Indy is the most logical spot for Baker. Yeah, I can see that, but I think Matty Ice fits better with Frank Reich than Baker does.
The type of play. But either way, either one of those guys will go in and play great.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to win games. They have a great
really
O-line, great running back.
I think Baker
good throws.
I think he'd be kind of weird to say. I think Baker's more talented than Matty Ice.
No, I agree. I do. I totally agree. If you look,
how do you tell me?
Look at the Browns offense. Look at the Browns offense since he's been there.
They have a running game. They have a running game,
but they don't have
and good offense and offensive line.
Yes, but you have to. There's one thing that people don't understand. If you don't have guys that are absolute dogs, like just getting open, you need coordinators that can scheme. The one thing that Frank Reich does is, Slaw may not know, but like in the passing game, he is unreal. Mm-hmm. So the one strength that Baker has is, people don't know this, but he's very accurate. He's a very accurate quarterback.
He can rip the ball.
Yes.
Rip it.
So like, I think he's unreal.
Matt Ryan can rip it too. It's just, the Falcons haven't helped him out as far as putting him in the right positions. I think he's a way better quarterback than what he has shown. But I also believe he's not the quarterback that everybody thinks he is.
I don't think Matt Ryan's. I think he's good, obviously, but I'm saying like I need to tread lightly here. Just from hearing some things about him and then seeing the offenses he's been in, Julio Jones was pretty good when he was there.
Yeah.
When I'm saying pretty good, I'm saying he was really good. Like,
for a stretch, he was the absolute best receiver in the NFL.
And that's the thing. I think there's I don't want to say he's overrated. That's not what I'm thinking, but he's a great quarterback, and I think if he went to Indy, he'd do great. I just think if I'm Indy long term, I think Baker's.
Yeah.
Because Baker has a lot of potential.
Baker gives you a higher ceiling.
Yeah, and if you put Baker with Frank, I just don't think he's a hothead. If he's doing that. I personally love his edge. I thought there was something his rookie year. I didn't love a comment he made, but outside of that, like, the guy plays hard. He plays through injuries. He's accurate. And then I think he's on what he would be one of the best staffs for creating passing concepts. You look at Carson Wentz
with another great offensive line.
Yes, but he tore it up in Indy. He had 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's really good. Did he have a couple timely picks that he wished he had back? Sure, but like, there was some other stuff that was wrong with the team. Like, early on in the year, he didn't have his offensive line. He didn't.
So Scott, I understand what you're saying. It's hard for me to like Baker because
it's not even about. It's about like or not. I don't know. I just don't think he's that talented. That's just my observation. But I never played
Baker. I think Baker gives Indy a higher ceiling. I think whether they get Matty Ice or Baker, they're still going to win a lot of games.
There's a little more wild card with Baker.
When has Baker ever won an important game? That's what I want to know.
Let's go to college.
Let's go to college.
but he still won a ton of games.
He won games, but did he ever win the
Yes.
big one? Didn't they play Georgia once, and Georgia was up by like 40-0 at halftime?
Yeah, but the thing that's tough is like Peyton Manning never won a big game in college. And he didn't win.
That's
and
fair.
He didn't win any big games for like his first 8 years.
And Tom, what did he do in college?
Nothing. So like,
I guess that makes sense.
It's situation more so, I think. Like, and I think Oklahoma was good, but he's not winning a title against like Oklahoma they were good, but Georgia, I think, was just on another level.
Yeah, well, they always are.
You know what I'm saying? There's
this to me is
the
crazy thing though about this whole situation with Baker. So Baker gives you a better chance to win more than Matty Ice does
for longer.
In both cases, you're going to win. But Carson Wentz is a higher ceiling than both of them in Indy. So I don't know.
I have no idea why they got rid of him.
What the hell is happening?
I'll tell you why they got rid of him. It's because Jim Irsay wanted to get rid of him. It wasn't Ballard and it wasn't Frank. Like, if you look at the team, just purely football, and maybe he wasn't a great leader. I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but he was good. He was a really good quarterback. And the problem is he was playing on one leg for the first half of the year and with a lot of his best linemen out.
Mm-hmm.
And T.Y. Hilton was out. Like if you just go down the list of what he had last year, I really think he's going to do good in Washington. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to maybe not look dumb, because there's a couple quarterbacks out there that I think are good. I think, like you said, Indy's going to win either way with one of those quarterbacks, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just,
yeah, it is crazy. Obviously, I still got some guys that I'm super close with in Indy, and just talking about like the situation going on of dealing Carson and not knowing what they got going on now.
They didn't hate Carson, right?
No, they absolutely loved him.
That's what I'm saying. It was an Irsay decision. It wasn't a football decision.
They were so pissed.
I was going to say they had to have not been excited, because and it didn't. If you watch any of the like interviews with the coaches in Ballard, it wasn't their decision. They were going to get fired if they didn't make that decision.
The reports of Carson not meshing well and like whatever other bullshit is like him being a leader, as the leadership being in question. Like, now again, the dudes I'm talking to, they don't represent the whole team. They're just a small part of the team, but they were saying, no, there's no issues with that. He's a
exactly.
He's
it's just, they're trying to cover their butts. No, like, so they don't look dumb. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's fun. When has the media ever been right?
Still waiting on it.
Still waiting.
Hold my breath, media. Show me what's up.
Seriously. Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's one thought I had, is I actually thought about this weekend, is tell me the most successful quarterback that's ever came out of Oklahoma, ever, Sooners.
Not a ton.
But isn't it like the place to go to be a quarterback?
Quarterback.
I think
that's what I'm saying.
Like 8, for the 5 to 8, maybe when he was O coordinator for the Lincoln Riley years, because Lincoln Riley's a good like offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can put anyone back there.
Early 2000s.
I mean, Jalen Hurts had a good year this year, but I'm not convinced until he does it 2 years in a row.
See, I think Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield are the same person.
Yeah, you think so?
I think Baker's more accurate. I think
he probably does throw better. Yeah, that makes sense.
Jalen's a better runner. I think Jalen is proving he's a better thrower than maybe he was given credit for, but I still you have to and this is a great example though too, because he had a good year this year. Everyone knows that. Jalen Hurts did. What passing offense concepts was he under? A Frank Reich one, Nick Sirianni.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm convinced the Baker Mayfield thing works. there. I'm not saying it works everywhere. I say Baker, if he goes to Seattle, I'm not as convinced. But he could have a great year there still. I think he's a better quarterback than given credit for, though.
When the Colts brought me in, you know, I got to be honest, I was pretty critical of this whole RPO system of Frank Reich. And when they brought me in on the visit, I just said, Frank, show me how this works. Show me how the RPO works. Because, you know, before that, look, RPOs are not revolutionary. They've been around for decades. Everybody thinking that this whole Frank Reich RPO shit just started
in college football or whatever.
Just started in like Philadelphia, and how Nick Foles, lowly mere Nick Foles, could be successful just because of the RPO. RPO has been around for decades. It's not new. But I wanted Frank to show me how he does it. And I was just like, holy crap, this is insane how this works. How you got one half of the line run blocking, the other half pass blocking. I'm like, that's so ridiculous. Like, you can never be successful doing that. And then he put on clip after clip after clip. I'm like,
okay, they're okay.
I don't know how it works, but it works. And then when I started running it there, I was just like, holy crap, defenses are stupid. And I mean, then you just sort of learn like the bind you're putting the defense in. The linebackers having to make a decision, and whatever decision they make, it's like they can't be right ever as long as you run it right. The timing is right. So a guy like Baker, not that Matty Ice isn't talented. You know, obviously he's got an arm and he can whip it, but he's also been knocked around a lot. He's also on the downside of his career. But a Baker, as long as he gets the timing and follows the rules and can rip it right into a spot, holy crap, it can get pretty special for him. I do worry about Carson in Washington just because of the offensive line situation.
Yeah. I don't know who their O coordinator is. That's the other thing. Like, people don't get this, but like, who your O coordinator is very important. There's a lot of, I'm not going to name names, but I've been to a place or two. Not a place or two. I'm just going to say there've been people that I've played under that I'm like, so, oh man, like, that's what we're going into this game with? Or that's what we're going to the season with? It's like, yeah, people wonder. They're like, when they're like, oh, that quarterback's terrible. And then they go to another place and they're like, oh my gosh, what did he do in the offseason? Did he study a lot? It's called different offensive coordinators, different systems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't understand that.
Yeah.
People don't get it. Like, it just like now he had numbers galore. He was with the Lions, but like, you then get freaking Matt Stafford under Sean McVay. They're like, oh, well, maybe he's pretty good. It's like, yes. It's just, you have to understand. Matt Stafford had 47 offensive coordinators in his first 10 years, switching every 4 games. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know. That's a lot. Then you have Russell Wilson. I don't even feel like talking about the NFL anymore, but Russell Wilson in Denver. I love Russell Wilson. I think he's really good. I think he's really, really good.
Denver just got a whole lot better.
Oh my goodness.
And Seattle got a whole lot worse.
Yeah. Like,
so look, I'm
not
the biggest of Russell Wilson fans, but he made that thing work over there.
Yeah. We'll see how well he made it work, because if someone goes in and does the same thing, which I think is not likely,
we're about to see just how good of a coach Pete Carroll is.
Yeah. And the Nathaniel Hackett from the Packers, who just got hired at Denver, he's worked with a really good quarterback named Aaron Rodgers, now has Russell Wilson, who's also a pretty decent quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see that work.
Do they still have Brian Schottenheimer as their O coordinator in Seattle, or is he gone?
I don't know. Why?
I'm just saying. Guess we get to see how good Brian Schottenheimer really is.
Oh,
Because I know how good he really is. I'm aware.
How good is he?
I'm aware of his level. And he ain't on the level. So good luck, Seattle fans. It'll be fun.
No, he's not. No, he's not there. He's with. This is going to be hard to say. He's with the Jaguars, though.
Ah, perfect fit for him.
I knew. I knew that was happening. Yeah.
You know,
I
that's a good hire by Jacksonville because he really fits with what they're about.
Well, he was there last
What is
year.
it? What is Jacksonville? How do they fit? Tell me.
Mediocrity, as long as they're just there in existence, then they're going to get paid. They don't have to do anything because their fan base doesn't care about them. They're like the Chargers of the Southeast. So
they're the professional free agency spenders.
Mm-hmm. As long as they stay relevant in the news, then they get their check.
They didn't even have to stay relevant. They're still getting their check. You know how that is.
Yeah, but they make their splash moves. That makes a big deal. You know, big free agents, big whatever else. And
it's like going off like the platform and they're just doing gainers. You know, the Olympic, not diving board, but the platform. It's like they just go up there and just do gainers. And people are like, oh, whoa, neat.
Like, oh yeah, Jacksonville's still a team. I forgot about that.
Like, oh my gosh, they splashed me. That's really neat.
Yeah. Jacksonville goes, okay, what is the bare minimum we have to do to be considered one of you guys' NFL teams?
We have
Give
to
us
sign
the list and we'll just do exactly that and nothing
We'll
more.
sign players that know how to jump off the platform and do gainers.
Yeah. Do we ever have to win? No? Okay, good.
Good. We don't have to. Thank goodness, because we don't want to play a game past January 1st.
Yeah. Oh, so we're the worst. So you just make us play in London every year? Okay.
Oh, awesome. Fun. Then we have to only pay our stadium workers 7 games, 7 home games instead of 8. Well, we're saving money. Saving like what, 10 hours?
Yeah. So yeah, Schottenheimer will do well over there.
Oh, do you want us to put a pool in our stadium? Oh, fun.
Done.
A see-through pool? Yeah. That's gonna work. Oh, we don't care about watching the game? Right. That'll be good. But we have cool unis. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Russell Wilson to Denver. That's exciting. They just got a lot better. I don't know if it's going to translate because, no offense to Denver, I was a Denver fan growing up, but they have been out of it for so long that it may. I mean, people don't think it, but that's kind of a barrier to overcome. You know, the habit of losing, and Denver has been.
I mean, look at Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly.
Cincinnati had to break the barrier.
Yeah, and they did it awesome.
Yeah.
Tampa immediately broke it, and that was surprising. I did not think that was going to happen.
See, I thought it was going to happen.
But
I was around. I was around Tom for 3 years though, so it makes sense. Like,
I was just arrogant enough to think that one man wouldn't make all the difference to go from worst to first. And
when are the Chargers going to break the barrier?
I think they're slowly moving in the direction. They are.
I have no idea how they didn't make the playoffs last year or the year before. Or the year before.
Well, I do. It's called Spanos. But no, they are making the right moves. As long as their head coach stays in control, that's
the problem though.
They have a legitimate shot. And if the Spanos boys,
bro, they could be so good though, adding Khalil Mack with Bosa.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
I did too.
Well,
now it's
terrifying.
like if they don't make the playoffs, then everyone needs to be fired there.
No, just the ownership does.
Everyone. Like, release every player. All right, I don't have anything else about the NFL. It's dumb. Stupid as ever.
Crazy money.
Woodrow's wisdom. I look forward for this conversation because I don't think I missed a minute of any basketball since last Thursday. And
did you win
I'm
money?
not even-
First of all, hey, did you win money?
it's been a rough week, but I made a little comeback yesterday.
Well, and think about
Let's
it.
Let's go Miami.
Come on. Oh, by the way,
Let's go Miami.
And you have a couple more weekends to make some more money.
It's unbelievable. But it got me thinking, because I don't even like basketball. Like, this is the only time I'm watching basketball is right now. And I'm trying to understand, like, why do I watch it? Is the excitement? Do they promote it well? Here's why I love it. Because I am a human observer of why people quit and why people don't. Like, literally, like, I'm like obsessed in that space. And watching this pressure on these kids these days is like a human reality show of like, oh, if you're into the mindset of like how people move under pressure, like I am, it's like the reality show, like going on, boom, 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 boom. And it's fascinating that literally every game comes down to who makes more free throws, like kind of in football, like turning the ball over, like just don't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. So I want to understand pressure on the highest level. I want to understand that, that's probably changed for you in college too, then through your pro career, playing in the Super Bowl, obviously. But how did you handle pressure, and how do you overcome pressure, if you can?
So pressure, I mean, shoot, there's a lot that goes with, that's nerves. I don't want to say anxiety, kind of anxiety though, but like all right. I cared a lot, like a lot. And does that put pressure? Sure. Or does it add pressure? Sure. But I cared a ton. Like the people that I never understood, the people that are like, hey, if you've prepared and everything, you'll have no nerves. Scott, I was scared going into every game. Not because I was worried about, like, I had the craziest, I'm sure Slaw did too. My biggest fear was failure. Like, oh my gosh, I do not want to fail. So leading up to games, I was in the bathroom the whole day on game day. I was in college. I threw up before every single game. I didn't throw up a lot in the league, but I was nervous. Was that because I didn't prepare? No. I think that's the thing that helps you. I don't want to say overcome it, but like if you're prepared, then you're gonna be in the right situation. You're gonna get the chance to succeed. Once the game starts, I don't want to say the pressure is thrown out the window or the nerves are thrown out the window, but you get hit the first time, whatever, then you're chilled. I was able to play in a Super Bowl. I was able to play in AFC Championship games. I was able to play in playoff games. Once you get past that initial series, I never really felt the pressure. I never really felt the nerves. But before the game, I always did, and that's because I was excited. I was also didn't want to fail, but I was excited. It's like we spent all week wasting hours away getting ready for this time. Like, go let it loose. You're talking about all this pressure and stuff. I think some of the pressure is because some of it could be they didn't prepare, which I don't think that's all it is. But there's also certain human beings that once they get into those situations, they also may not believe in their abilities. Like, man, I loved in basketball. I loved having the ball at the end of the game. I didn't want anyone else to touch it. In the league, in 2-minute drives, I wanted the ball not because I didn't trust my teammates, but I trusted myself as much or more than anyone else, right? If we're in the red area, I want the play called for me I wanted 72H dangle thrown to me. That's where the halfback has an angle route. And if they're man to man, I'm going to win. Like, I wanted that called to me. I wanted, if it's 3rd and 3, I wanted that called to me. I wanted H skunk to be called, which was an option route for I could run anywhere, just get open. I wanted that called to myself. Is that because I have confidence in everything I practice? Yeah, I think the preparation that goes into the week. Now, if I wasn't winning on my routes or I wasn't running things correctly and I continually didn't get open, then yeah, I'd feel the pressure. I'd feel the nerves in those situations. But man, I wanted the opportunity to make the big play. And I know what you're talking about, Scott. Like, even though they pulled off the win, North Carolina looked like a bunch of scared rabbits. I'm not sure what fearful rabbits look like, but that's what they looked like. Like, they looked terrified to make a play. It's like they're scared. The last thing you want on your team is a bunch of guys that are scared. You want guys that are just oozing with confidence and guys that have been prepared to be in that moment. It's not for everyone. I mean, Slough will agree. Like, playing at that, playing in games that are so magnified is not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It just isn't.
When you know,
and that's okay.
There's millions of eyes on you, and your success or failure will be judged by millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, who knows. So I mean, to deal with that, you have to have something a little bit wrong with you. You know, I call it when your wires touch, meaning your brain's shorten out a little bit because you can deal with that extreme pressure.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's just being in the moment all the time. You know, Commander Jack, when he comes on, he talks about, you know, in the military, the expression of get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's professional sports. Every day at practice, you are competing for your job, competing to support your family, because as an offensive lineman, the D line's coming every day. They don't care if there's pads on or not. If there's no pads, you would think, oh, okay, so it's going to be a softer day. That just makes the D line run better and move better. So you got to move better. But fully pads, that's advantage O-line day, because now they're going, crap, these guys are coming. And it's literally a fight every day in practice. And when you get to the games, it isn't any different, but you've been preparing for that all week.
I never thought about that, Slaw, but like practice, and I took practice so serious that if I didn't win on a route, I thought, like, they're not running that play. I'm not getting a chance this weekend. So, like, the pressure was during the week. The pressure was being undrafted. The pressure was not getting fired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing in front of millions of playing in front of millions of people really didn't do anything to me. I knew I was getting the game check that week.
Right. Because that is real. Mean, like, the games
are easy.
When you move it, when you compartmentalize games, the games are not your job. The week is your job.
Mm-hmm.
Your work week is when you get paid. That's where you earn your money. The games are just an opportunity for you to go show how much ass you've been kicking all week.
It's a little cherry on top is what it is.
Yeah, and it's a cherry, but it ain't the meal. The meal's the week.
Yeah. And that's the thing is you go back to, you got to have something wrong. I hate it. So I obviously played at Shadron. We didn't get a lot of fans. Or I mean, we did for Shadron. Like, it was packed. But like, you don't get a lot of fans compared to Division I. I remember when we played our first D1 AA game, we played Montana State. It was after Montana State beat Colorado. We went up there and ran roughshod on them. But it was in front of like 15, 16, 17,000 people. That was a huge game for us. I loved that. Like I remember we'd go play in the RMAC. That was our conference. And we'd play at places where there's only like maybe 1,000 people. And I'm like, ugh, it would be like, but it's like, all right, no, you got to figure it out and you got to get something that motivates you. Because it was motivating to have eyes on me. Like, I remember my senior year, we went to Washburn. We played at Washburn. Well, there were a lot of eyes on me because also going into my senior year, and then NFL scouts were there. So it's like, I loved it. Like I craved pressure. Like I loved when everything was on, like stacked against, like I had to make plays. Like there was nothing better to me. Like I wanted the Super Bowl when you just have millions of eyes on you. That is like, to me, I just crave that type of stuff. I want, not that I want the notoriety, but I feel like it helps me perform when it's like, okay, well, there's millions of people watching you. Like I loved Monday night games until I was older and I got home late. Right. And like, it's like, oh, I got to bed late, then I don't get a lot of sleep. But I loved having eyes on me.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling, especially when you're young. You feel the pressure, you feel it all, but then you learn how to feed on the pressure, how it becomes part of you. It sustains you a little bit. And shit, I mean, look at Tom Brady now. He comes out of retirement after what, a month?
Yeah, because 4 minutes.
Like, I need the pressure. I need it.
Well, there's nothing. Life. Well, it's funny because that's why, like looking back, like I don't miss a lot of the NFL. Like I felt like I took like a 1,000-pound backpack off when I retired because of just the stress and anxiety and all kinds of stuff. But there's still the competition part that you crave. And that's why I started playing in all the amateur stuff in golf, because I like the feeling of not being able to feel my hands and not being able to feel like I can breathe on the first tee. I love that. Like in the US 4-ball last year, I could barely feel my body. I was having like, it was an unbelievable experience. Like how terrible your body feels during that. You're like, what on earth is happening? Like, I love that. Like most people would feel out of control. I do too, but I like the feeling of being out of control because it's like you got to settle yourself down to be like, all right, figure something out. Otherwise, you're going to look like a complete idiot off this first tee. So like that right there, oh my gosh. There's nothing better than feeling out, like in a sport when like you kind of feel like you just don't know what to do. And you're like, you have to calm yourself down. That's why I love golf right now. Is there's times where I'm like standing over a putt and it's like, it matters. You know what I'm talking about, Slaw. Not even in a tournament, but you're like,
I know.
It's like, oh my gosh, this is not great if I miss this.
Like hole 18 at Indian Creek. And you're like 30-foot putt for birdie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is going in. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It might have hurt you guys. No chance
of this going in.
See, I love that. And
when I said that, you go, oh, now it's going in.
Yeah, he said that. And I said, now it's going in. And it went in. But like, I love that. And I love the games that we have, when it's 2-on-2 and it matters for pride and it matters for some other things too. Maybe a little bit of coin. Like, that, and you have the opportunity to rip someone's throat out and then throw it on the ground and then stomp on it and spit on it. There's nothing better.
Got a lot of spit on my throat right now. Bullshit.
Yeah. But yes, Scott, what do you think? We haven't let you say anything.
No, there's nothing to say, and it's just just so apparent. I mean, look, all of us listening, we're probably not going to play in the NFL, but there's things you can learn here, and this is why I love having these conversations. Is you put yourself in the most uncomfortable situations all week, right? To live up to game day. Like you said, it's a cherry on top. So anybody that's trying to get better in life, no matter what that is, it's just easy to articulate through sports is how do you arrange your day to make yourself be in the uncomfortable and get comfortable within the uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And how much that would pay off in the long run for whatever you're trying to achieve is to keep putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, not dangerous, right? Like these situations aren't where, it's life or death, but I think it's a good thing to pass on to children too, to me, is to keep putting them in these uncomfortable situations and just let them swim in it and let them feel it and let them get comfortable in it.
You are 100% right. Now, that was a point I actually wanted to bring up. Dealing with pressure, it's trying to simulate and be able to practice in that pressure. How do you simulate that? How do you create the game-like conditions to practice in? Because you have to know what your nerves do to yourself, however it is, in golf, it's the craziest thing. I have, played in a lot of big games, and I've never felt pressure like I felt it in golf because I'm pretty young in the sport. I haven't been playing since I was a little kid like Woody has. When I feel the pressure, it gets to me in golf because I don't know what that's going to do to my swing. So now that I've been playing more, I have more of an understanding. So I know how to adjust to that feeling. But in like when I'm coaching the kids in basketball and, they steal a ball and they're running down on a fast break, I know what's going to happen. They're going to go up for a layup and they're running full speed. They're going to go up for a layup. The ball's going to hit the backboard and ricochet 5 feet off. They're going to completely miss the rim because they're coming in so hot with so many nerves and they're just all tense and agitated. They don't understand what that does to their body. So I tell them all the time, I said, you're coming in hot and you got to slow down. When you're dribbling the ball fast and you're trying to change the direction, you got to slow down so you can break and get out of it. When I was playing, I did a lot of Olympic lifting because
Soccer.
Yeah, I know, right? Because the process of being under such strain of a pull of a power clean and then have to completely unlock to drop and get underneath it fast and then strain again to get it up. The process of lock, unlock, lock, that is all sports, any sport. So with the kids, when they steal a ball and they're on a fast break, they're tense and they have to unlock so they can put up a nice, pretty soft layup. And the kids don't understand it yet because it was their first year. But the more situations they are in that, the more they're going to understand it. And then that will transfer to life. When you got life coming at you hard, no matter what you are doing in your career, you got to know how to just grit your teeth and strain. And then when it comes to the pressure time, how you just relax and deliver it because it's what you do.
Yep.
Let's just wrap that up right in a bow. Love that.
I think we need to get the kids in here.
Yeah.
Gabe, let's go.
Gabe. Hey, bud. How you doing?
You're already pissing me off, Gabe.
Hey, Mr. Slauson.
Gather round, children.
Yeah. Hey. Come on, kids. Gather around, children.
Get on the rug.
Gather around.
All right. So for Slauson story time, the story I want to tell is just from my very first start in the NFL. And it just is a coincidence that the last couple of weeks my story time has kind of aligned with Woodraux's wisdom. And a lot of that comes from when I hear your topic and hear you talk, it just kind of rings a bell or brings up a memory for me. And if I can kind of wrap it into what you were talking about, then I feel that to be good. So it isn't always going to happen this way, but I think this week is good to do, to Scott's question about pressure and dealing with it. My very first start in the NFL back in 2010, week 1, we're opening up against Baltimore Ravens, number 1 defense in the NFL. And I am replacing Hall of Fame guard Alan Faneca. My offensive line is full of first-round picks, full of Pro Bowl linemen and All-Pro linemen, future Hall of Fame linemen. I am a 6th-round pick. Nobody gives 2 shits about me. And when the Jets cut Allen and replaced him with me, there was a lot of pissed off people, even on my team. So, and I open up the season against the number 1 defense in the NFL and Rex Ryan's former team. So stakes were high. There was a win that had to be had. They got Terrell Suggs, Haloti Ngata in his prime, Kelly Gregg, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I don't know who else. Just a whole stable of psychopaths on that side. And this is my first start. So the game is scheduled for 7 p.m. prime time football. Monday Night Football. And of course, thunderstorms hit right before the game. Game is delayed an hour and a half. So when you're talking about a 6th-round pick that already struggling to believe in himself based on who he's replacing a Hall of Famer, and there's questions being thrown around about my abilities, and an offensive line, a group of offensive linemen around me that I can feel their doubt. And my matchup all game long is going to be Haloti Ngata. I was freaking out. And then the delay hits. I'm like, holy crap, I've already shit like 6 times because I'm so nervous. And now you're delaying me an hour and a half? It's going to be like 11 o'clock when we kick off. This is bullshit. And well, the game comes, everything's fine. Typical Rex Ryan type of game. The final score of this game was 10-9. It was a real offensive struggle. But the defense being played was incredible. So we get down to the end of the game. We're down 10-9. Minute left. We get the ball. We got to drive the field and go kick a field goal to win. And so now we got Baltimore's defense in a 2-minute drill with a young quarterback, a young left guard, and they're going to give me everything they got. I know it. Everybody knows it. They're coming after me because if they can get through me, they're getting Mark. Well, first down, we do nothing. Second down, we do nothing. Third down, here we go. Sack, fumble, game over. I fucking crumbled, absolutely crumbled. And yeah, game over. We lost 10-9. Media crushing me all week. Teammates pissed off. And my football dad, Bill Callahan, when I come in after the game for film review, he hands out the grades. And I'm just waiting like, holy shit, this is going to be the last grade sheet I ever get because I am out of here. And he hands me my grade sheet. And he goes, good job, Slough. And I look at it and it's like 94%. Like, what? And a winning grade in the NFL for offensive line. I don't know if other position groups do this, but I know for offensive line play, a winning grade is 80. If you score 80 or higher, you're considering giving a winning effort. I was the highest graded lineman of the group. And so he passed out everybody's grades, and, you know, the rest of the line played really well. Everybody was in the mid or high 80s, and I was at 94, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, these guys are going to hate me because they think Bill's padding the stats or something for me. But he goes, all right, guys, this is the situation. Saw you learned something yesterday. You played an awesome game. Your run blocking, your pass blocking, everything was great. And you got beat on a play. And you got beat at the worst possible time. And that sucks. But you know what? There's going to be another game and another game and another game. And you're going to keep growing and getting better. And you're going to learn how to not get beat. But guess what? You're going to get beat. Everybody sitting here in this room knows it. You're going to get beat. You just got to figure out in that situation, you can't get beat in that situation. So as I grew then, and I mean, Bill handled that situation exactly right, because if he wouldn't have done that, if he wouldn't have said that, my career would have been over pretty quick, because I don't know if I would have been able to deal with it. The amount of shit I was getting tossed at me by the media, by knowing my whole family watched me essentially lose that game for us. That's how I was feeling in front of tens of millions of people. I lost us the game. That's how I felt. But in reality, he goes, dude, the game was lost in 20 other scenarios. In other situations of that game, the game was lost. Or the game could have been won in 20 other situations. It just so happens yours was the most obvious, so that's what it looks like. And that's unfortunate for you. But you got to move on, because you're a pro, and then you go on. Fast forward 2 weeks, we're playing Miami down in Miami, Sunday night football. We get down to the end of the game. We're tied 23-23. And we're going on a final drive to try to do something to win it and avoid going into overtime. And we drive down, and we get in a position where we can kick a field goal, but it's, I don't know what it was, third down, I think. So Miami knows that they have to try to push us out of field goal range. So they were bringing the heat. They lined up in an odd defense, and they ran this okey doke blitz, where they mug up the backers over the guards, and if they come, so as a guard, our rule at the time was, because I was young and spry and I could move good, if the backer comes, then you just block him. But if he bails out, then I have to pop out and go block the blitzing nickel, who's a little DB just screaming right up the field. And they did exactly that. They popped the backer out. Then I had to go pop out and block a DB. And I hit him right at the correct time, just freaking laid him out, and Mark threw a dart right into the end zone and walk off touchdown, and we win. And right there, Bill essentially proved himself right. He goes, that situation is a gotta have it. And the lights weren't too bright. They weren't too big. The moment wasn't too big for you. And you showed up and you delivered. He goes, look, you got beat in other spots of the game, but when you had to do it, you delivered. So I thought that was cool and appropriate to share. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts, questions.
No, I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to do as a pro, is you have to make plays in the gotta have it situations. Otherwise, you're not going to be around. And I think that proves why you're around 10 years. I mean, it just is what it is. You have to learn early on. I think everyone has those learning moments. I had some learning moments my first year, and yeah, like, but you learn from them, and you're like, okay, I got to figure this out. Otherwise, I'm not going to be around. Just for everyone listening, the first game he started, that next morning I was fired by the Jets.
Fucking Jets.
I'll add one more thing. Find people that believe in you, because Bill believed in you,
He did.
and let them trust them and let them show your full potential.
Yeah.
Bill believed in me more than I believed in me.
Yeah.
And I thank him every day for it. Because if not for him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in right now. So yeah, it was awesome. But I had to live in that all week long. I mean, I still live in it. I think about that game a lot, of what I could have done different. And I knew instantly when it happened what I could have done different. But it's just like, if that game didn't happen, or if I blocked Haloti Ngata perfectly on that last play, would I have been as good as I was? It's almost like I needed that to happen to show me things that I didn't know. And it helps all week when you're having to practice against a top 3 defense in the NFL. Like they had Chris Jenkins and Sione Buha and Mike DeVito and Calvin Pace, linebackers. I mean, Bart Scott, David Harris, defensive backs that were absolute psychopaths, and Revis and Cromartie and Eric Smith and your boy, the other safety, the Wisconsin
Leonard.
guy. Yeah, Jimmy Leonard. I mean, geez, you want to talk about a defense, and that's who I'm practicing against.
That was nuts.
And like I said, like, offensive line, defensive line, the practice doesn't matter. It's a straight out war every single day. And Rex Ryan loved that. Weekly scrimmages, good on good. I mean, offensive line is coming, defensive line is coming. We would have short yardage goal line scrimmages every week to just let us just tee off on each other. And I knew I wasn't going to face anybody better than that, than I had to face every single day. When I got to the game, it was going to be easier. It was going to be slower. And I thought it was awesome. I had to learn to live. The famous quote from Bane and Batman saying, "You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it." I think that is really, really powerful. If you learn to exist in that psycho state, it's the moment will never be too big for you.
Yeah.